Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, October 24th. So I want to tell you about a couple of things that happened over the weekend. This could be a little bit long and windy, so bear with me. I do have a point. First, it started kind of Friday night. It warmed up here over the last few days where it had been down like below freezing. So when I came home Friday, I flipped the air conditioner on. It didn't work. My first assumption was that the apartment complex tends to pull the plug on the air conditioners when it gets super cold so people don't ruin them. That's what I figured had happened. That was right in the long run, but I truly was just trying to see if I could tough out the heat, because when the sun comes around on the side of my building, it comes from the west, and then the summertime, when it starts shining in the windows from the west, it heats up in here and it is really, really hard to get cooled off. So I have to keep an eye on that. So anyway, Saturday morning, I just opened the windows and the doors and everything, and had the windows opened at night to keep it somewhat cooled off, and it did. And it got a little hotter on Saturday. And again, I could have called into the apartment complex, and I was like, it was more of a challenge. I just wanted to see if I could tough it out and not be a big wimp. So by Saturday night, again, it had gotten a little hotter. It had creeped up a little bit more. Zero airflow in this place. And I did not sleep well at all on Saturday night because of that. So Sunday morning, I opened the doors and I'm trying to get it cooled off in here because it probably didn't drop down past 70, which I know for a lot of people that is cold. For me, that, women of certain ages, we just get hot, and I have body mass on me. So it makes me hotter than a lot of people. And so I'm trying to cool it off in here yesterday morning, which would have been Sunday morning. And I had the balcony door opened and everything. And I heard this like bird outside squawking like extraordinarily loud. And at first I thought it was a crow, because it was like, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, good God, what the hell? So after it did that for a while, I finally went to the door to see if I could, just figure out what it was and where it was at, just to, get my eyes on it. And I stood there for a second. I could hear it, but I couldn't see it. And then I figured out where it was coming from. I could locate where it was coming from. And then the next thing I know, it was a blue jay popped down on the ground, showed himself to me, or I feel like it was a male. Popped down on the ground so I could see it, hopped back up in the tree, then slowly hopped itself up to the top branch, and then took off to the north, screaming the whole time. And so after that happened, I was like, I wonder what the spiritual meaning of seeing a blue jay is, because I have not seen one of those for several years that I can recall. I remember seeing them when I was a kid, but I have not seen blue jays around here forever. And so I looked up the spiritual meaning of a blue jay, and it ended up being something about the throat chakra and communication, and there's a whole list of stuff. You can go look it up. I did post the story and the post about the meanings on my Telegram channel. And then the weird part was how many other people went, oh my God, I saw a blue jay today on my walk. Oh my God, there was like one in my yard yesterday. So it seems blue jays are popping up in front of people where maybe they have not been lately, or I am just calling it out to them. So one, I'm wondering how many of you have seen a random blue jay when maybe you haven't seen one for a long, long time. Look up the spiritual meaning of what it means, and then take how that resonates for you. So let's go there first. And then, of course, yesterday, as it was hot in here, then my water heater went out. So I'm like doing dishes, and I hadn't taken a shower yet, and I'm like, fuck, Now I don't have air conditioning and I don't have hot water. So this is definitely, I'm calling into the apartment complex. So and I've never called in on the emergency line. They're not open on Sundays. So I ended up making like 4 calls trying to figure out how to leave a message on the emergency line. I left one at 11, didn't hear anything for at least an hour, tried it again, tried another message, tried to like leave my phone number, redid it. I think I called in like 4 different times. So as I am sitting here hearing nothing from anyone in the apartment complex, no call from anybody saying, yeah, we got it, somebody will be over, whatever, I could feel the anxiety and the frustration coming up. I could feel my heart was beating. And I am also having that conversation with myself. I'm like, oh my God, please do not ignore this, because I do not want to lose my shit again like I did last week. So finally somebody showed up like middle of the afternoon. I don't know, it was 3.5 hours after that initial call. And he did say that they had pulled the plug on the air conditioning, and a lot of people were calling, complaining about needing that done. So he'd been running around plugging in the air conditions for people because it had heated up. So I was right about that. But anyway, I have water heater and air conditioner now. But sitting here this weekend, thinking about last week, thinking about why I am so easily triggered, part of kind of what I came to a conclusion of is feeling, especially after the Blue Jay. Now my mouth's getting all dry. After the Blue Jay, I think maybe, I don't know, I started thinking about how I keep my mouth shut a lot. Not with you guys. I usually say the truth here. But in general, with people that I know, people that I work with, people on the phone, you know, it's getting harder and harder for me personally to not see the obvious signs of stupidity and people doing abusive things to their body and complaining about it and keeping my mouth shut about that. Or people who, you know, randomly are making comments about conspiracy theorists and joking about that, and knowing that I am a full-fledged one and proud of it, and keeping my mouth shut about that. You know, if I'd had to march into the apartment complex yesterday or today, you know, I couldn't go in yesterday because they were closed, but thinking like if I get ignored with that, I'm going to lose my shit. The whole thing with the Shaper Mint, I finally, you know, after bitching with them all day on Friday, I mean, there's just like all of these things. I feel like I am literally being tested right now. And I don't know what the right thing to do is, because if I scream at the top of my lungs, I am seriously going to look like I am having a nervous breakdown. And I'm not so sure that I'm not that far away from it, because I'm having to keep quiet and play dumb and act like I don't know what I do know, because so many people around me are fucking oblivious. And that's really, really starting to eat away at me, as I'm sure it is eating away at you. I feel like that is why we are, as a whole, getting angrier and angrier, you know, watching what is going on, feeling like we cannot do anything about it. You know, it's like we can educate ourselves, but where does that actually get us in the end if this bunch over here won't listen to the shit that we say, you know, and this bunch over here doesn't want it to change? We are literally in the middle, and I don't know how to fix that. And I don't want to be angry for the rest of my life. And I do not know how to continue with my life without feeling like I want to punch somebody out every other day. You know, it's like I didn't talk to anybody over the weekend other than the maintenance man when he showed up here yesterday. I didn't call anybody. I had one girlfriend that texted me, and I cut that off as soon as I could, because any conversation that I have these days makes me angry. And so I'm just kind of like trying to rectify this in my head and figure out how to move forward and live down here like we are living right now in this world. You know, I don't know. I mean, it, again, like I said, it's getting harder and harder for me to live. I feel like I'm living a lie. I feel like I am holding back a lot of the stuff I know, but we all know it's kind of pointless. You know, people aren't listening, and so I don't know. Anyway, that's just kind of a frustration that I'm living with. Oh God, now my nose is itching. So anyway, let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I can't think of anything. I just need for something to happen soon. I hope that it happens between now and the elections. I think that no matter what happens, something about the elections will blow the top off, because either they will cancel it, and that's going to light a fuse under people, or I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. All I can do is try to keep myself out of the loony bin, because right now that's where I seriously feel like I want to keep myself heavily drugged and away from people, and I cannot do that right now. So anyway, look up the meaning, the spiritual meaning of a bluebird. Keep your eyes open. See if they're communicating with you. They do have a meaning of communication. I just don't know how in the world the universe wants me to communicate, because what I've been communicating up to this point, I can see people are not listening. And I think that's what is frustrating. It's like even the ones that I thought were listening must not be listening. They've like tuned me out. So it's like, what's the point of getting up here and having a discussion, or having a discussion with anybody? I don't know. Anyway, have a good week. I will talk to you later. If you have figured out a way how to keep from losing your damn mind right now, please let me know. Bye.